Welcome to Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous. For the next hour, best-selling real estate investing author Larry Goins and co-host Kandas will help show you the many ways real estate creates the ideal investment. Whether you want to flip houses or become a passive investor making double-digit returns while others do all the work, you'll learn how on Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous. Here are your hosts, Larry and Kandas.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday afternoon, Kandas. How you doing?
Hello.
What's up? How's Matthew and the girls?
They were fine when I left them.
Really?
I don't know if anybody's, what's happening right now. But
Are they going to the lake or going horseback riding or anything?
no, they ain't doing none of that without me.
Really? Well, you can't do it. You got your game leg.
That don't mean I can't do it.
Oh, you can tag along,
I'm not
I
making
guess.
the boat float.
You can tag along, I guess, right?
Yeah, I can tag along.
With your family.
It's like if we're playing golf, I've been reduced to the cart girl.
The cart
Because
girl.
I can't.
You're driving
I
the
can't
golf
pivot.
cart?
Yeah, I can't pivot to play right now.
At least you're not dragging the golf bag, right?
Yeah, I'm not
You're
a
on a
caddy.
cart.
It's called a caddy. No, I'm not a caddy.
See, I don't know anything about golf.
I'm reduced to
How
the
about
cart
a round
girl.
of small ball?
Small ball.
To him, a caddy is a car.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's
Nice,
good.
Chad. Thanks for encouraging this.
That's good. Thanks, Chad. Yeah, I know nothing about golf. Nothing. Not a zero zip.
You surprised me, though, a couple weeks ago when we were at the event. We were talking golf with that student at lunch, and you just popped off with who was on the leaderboard for the tour right now.
I just turned the TV off and came down from my hotel room, and they
I
had
was
they had it up there.
surprised. I was so shocked that you. He's like, "You're proud of me, aren't you?" Like right there at the table.
I did say it. There was a bunch of people around. Usually when we're in a situation and they talk sports, Kandas says, just be quiet and follow my lead.
Right. There's a lot of
Let
the
me
people,
do the talking, Kandas says.
I do. A lot of the people that come to our events talk football for some reason. That seems to be the choice sport for people that come to our events is football. They do, occasionally it's golf. Sometimes it's basketball, but majority of them is football. And he has no clue. No clue. And so
None whatsoever.
No, you really don't.
Do you like it when they kick a touchdown? Is that right?
Yeah. Listen, growing up, I never had a football bat, so, I don't know anything about it.
He knows WBT is home of the Panthers because, our microphones have the logo on them.
It's like 4 inches from my eyes right here, the Panther logo. Right?
That's what I got to work with.
That's funny.
Anyway, so like I said, hey, we were just at the 3-day event a couple weeks ago, and I know
In Cleveland, right?
in Cleveland, yep. And we talked about some of the questions that came up with that event, and I've got some more. You want to answer? Some of them?
Sure.
Some of them their questions this week.
That would be great because, chances are if somebody has a question, and there's probably a lot more people that, maybe they hadn't even thought to ask the question, and we do have a 3-day event coming up in Charlotte as well, right?
We do. August 4th, 5th, and 6th. We sure do. And Larry teaches all 3 days.
What can
That
they
may
learn
be
at
very
the 3-day?
exciting for you.
What can they learn at the 3-day, Kandas?
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Do you know what is taught at our 3-day events?
I do.
Really?
I think I speak it in my sleep half the time.
It's probably because last week someone asked, right?
No, that's not true. We've been doing 3
Let me
days
hear
a
you
long
rattle it
time.
off. Let me hear you. Can you do it?
Analyzing, making offers, negotiating, lease options, seller financing, HUD, day trading, asset protection, entity structuring, tax planning, virtual assistants, creating passive income, and much more.
When I put my hand over your paper.
I do listen. I see the titles that come up in the slides.
I do listen.
I have
promise.
to know. I have to know. You know
I
how many
promise.
calls we answered for people to register for the 3-day? They all ask that same question. Now, what am I going to learn?
What
We
am I
have to
gonna-
say it 50,000 times for
What?
an event.
Yeah, unless they're from South
may be an
Carolina, where I'm from,
exaggeration.
and then it's now. What's Larry gonna learn me?
That is not what they say.
That sounds like something I would say, though, right?
Yes, you would say, but yeah, no, we don't have students that say that.
That's funny.
But
So-
we do have students that ask really good questions. And for those of y'all who have been to our 3-day events, you know that we play Stump Larry. And if you are just listening to the show and you haven't been yet, we play this game called Stump Larry, and it is exactly what it sounds like. You just ask him questions about real estate, and it can be, any question. Now, legal questions aren't aren't really. He's going to tell you to see your legal professional for that. But real estate related, he's done about everything. So we get a ton of good questions, and I wrote some of them down. So one of them is, let's see, which one do I want to go with? Oh, I like this one. What is a point of sale inspection?
Wow, that's a really good question. There's some municipalities, some cities, when you're buying a property, okay, when you're buying a property in a city, and typically a city is not going to have a point of sale inspection unless there's a lot of vacant houses in the city, okay? And the purpose of a point of sale inspection is when someone sells a property in a city, the city wants to make sure that that property is not just going to be sold and then not fixed up. So in order to convey the deed to a property, the city must inspect the property and make sure they do a write-up on it, like a code violation write-up. Okay. And anything that's on that list will have to be completed within X number of days. And depending on how big the list is and how major or minor the items are, the city will give you, like maybe 15 days, 60 days, 30 days, 45 days, whatever, to have all the repairs completed. Okay, so it's a point of sale inspection. They don't do it around here.
I was going to ask you, that's not something that I've heard really from people that we talk to or when we buy houses in Charlotte.
Well, to give you an idea.
Well, we don't buy houses in Charlotte, but in our area.
To give you an idea, a lot of it started back in 2007, actually, is kind of where it kind of started snowballing, if you will. It had been done in some areas, but it really started like in Detroit, Akron, Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, some areas that we will call depressed markets that were depressed for a while. Mm-hmm. And they did that so people couldn't just sell their properties dirt cheap and then nobody fix it up. You know what I mean? They've got to be fixed up. They're trying to improve. They're trying to improve the community.
Community improvement initiative.
That's really good, Kandas.
You like that word?
Yeah.
That's not a South Carolina word.
CIA. Community Improvement Initiative. There you go. That's really good.
There you go.
So that's really what a point of sale inspection is. Now, however, I will tell you how to avoid that. You can't avoid a point of sale inspection by conveying your property with a quit claim deed. If you own a property with a quit and convey it, sell it with a quit claim deed, there is no point of sale inspection required. However, it's okay to sell it, all right, with that. However, I would not ever, ever, ever buy a property with a quit claim deed unless all the taxes have been paid, and there's no code violation, there's no liens or judgments against the property, because a lot of properties that have back taxes, liens, judgments, and code violations, they do convey by quit claim, so those don't have to be paid at closing. Like a regular real estate closing, everything's going to be prorated to the date of sale. The seller is going to pay the taxes up until the date they sell it, mm-hmm. and the buyer is going to be responsible for taxes afterwards. And with the quitclaim deed, none of that stuff is prorated, and the property can convey with back taxes, liens, judgments, and code violations. So a point of sale inspection can be avoided if you need to by conveying a property with a quitclaim deed. However, don't ever buy a property with a quitclaim deed. Get a general warranty deed. Unless it's a bank-owned property, then they're going to give you what's called a special warranty or limited warranty deed, which is okay. That's just standard, okay? So we do have a 3-day event coming up, and the whole 3 days is taught personally by me. And Kandas will be there as well. So will Ron, David, and Dean,
as far as we know, yeah.
Our education consultants. They will be there, and they'll be talking with people one-on-one, helping them create a game plan. So just give Macy a call. She can tell you all about it. She can get you signed up for it. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and it's going to be taught personally by me. In fact, it's not going to cost you anything, is it? What's it cost?
If you're a student, if you're a student, it's $97 seat registration fee, but you get that back the week after the event.
Yeah, it's just a registration fee, and you will get that back. It's just to make sure you're going to show up. $97 for 3 days. Come on, give me a break. Pick up the phone right now. Call Macy. Tell her Larry says so.
Welcome back to Brag Radio. This is Kandas. Larry's over there adjusting his headphones. Don't really know what he's doing.
Sing and jump.
Are you sound like you were saying jump?
I was saying jump.
Not singing it.
I like this song. It's
Did
also
we-
off of 1984.
Did I ask a question before we went to the break, or we ended with the answer and that was it? Right? I didn't ask another one. All right, so I have another one here.
Chad, do you play keyboards?
No.
You play a really good air keyboard.
Wow,
I'm
thank
telling
you.
you. You move your fingers around, it looks real.
Cool.
It's very authentic. Good job.
Thank you very much.
So what are we doing, Kandas?
We've got more questions. So the one of the other questions that came in from one of the last events is, what is a zombie foreclosure?
Wow. How many people out there have heard of a zombie foreclosure? Raise your hand. Unless you're driving, keep both hands on the wheel. Right? So a zombie foreclosure. It's really kind of spooky, isn't it? It's
I don't
kinda
like
scary
that name.
stuff.
It seems like they would come up with a better name.
Well, you know, what is a zombie? What's a zombie?
Some I don't want to be around.
It's like the half dead, right? Is that what it is, Chad?
The Living Dead, The Walking Dead.
The Living Dead, Walking
Yeah.
Dead? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, no, I don't want to be around that.
So think about this. Think about this. So what would a zombie foreclosure in real estate be? It would be a half foreclosure, right?
A
So
half foreclosure.
Or a living foreclosure.
I don't know what that means.
All right, let me explain, okay?
Explain it, Lucy. Explain it.
You're way too young to be using that quote.
No,
From
I'm
Luke-
not. Do you know how many times I had to watch those episodes?
Yeah, when you were growing up.
Between that and Andy Griffith, and good gosh.
I love Andy
That's all I
Griffith.
got to
though.
watch was the news, I Love Lucy, and Andy Griffith.
Well, you know, Barn.
And Full House on Friday nights.
Full House. That's funny. All right, so meanwhile, back at the ranch.
What is zombie foreclosure?
What's a zombie foreclosure? Let's say a house goes into foreclosure, okay? The borrower quits making payments, all right? Maybe the house is run down, needs a lot of work, and whenever a property goes into foreclosure, the people get delinquent, the bank typically will hire somebody, an asset manager or a field service rep, and they'll send them out to, number one, verify occupancy. Okay, is the borrower still living in the property? Now, they're not going to go out there and knock on the door, hey, what's your name, what are you doing here, and all that stuff. They're just going to verify occupancy.
So they just do a drive-by.
Kind of a drive-by, yes.
Maybe a peek or two in the windows.
Well, they're not going to be creepy about it. What you doing in there?
Well, if there's no cars, do you think, if there's no cars and they're trying to find out what's going on with the property, do you think they're going to peek in the window?
Yeah.
A peek or two.
I've got a story.
A peek or two is what
now,
I said.
Now, listen, Pam, my wife, did that one time, and she ended up knocking over their post of the column coming in
gosh.
on the way out. It scared her so bad that somebody was in the house.
I bet so.
She jumped in the car and backed out and ran over a big brick column.
I bet that was a pleasant
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I know, right? Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, zombie foreclosure. So
The bank
let's say
sends the asset
let's say they
personnel.
verify occupancy, okay? And there's nobody in the house. The house is run down. You know, the bank looks at this house. I mean, because they're gonna verify occupancy, they're gonna verify the condition, and the house is run down, okay? So the bank says, well, we don't really even want this house, okay? We don't want it. We don't want to deal with the problems because if they take it back, they got to keep it up. The city's going to be on their case. They're going to put code violations against it. The city is going to charge back taxes, charge taxes. They're going to write them up for not the grass not being cut.
Yeah.
So if the bank forecloses, they're going to have to do all the upkeep and the maintenance and the yard and all that stuff to keep the city off their case, especially in a market where it may be a depressed market or there's a lot of foreclosures, okay?
Okay.
So what the bank will do, the bank will simply stall the foreclosure, okay? Now, the borrower is not paying, but the bank, instead of moving forward with the foreclosure, they're going to stall the foreclosure and just, the borrower still owns the property. The bank never forecloses on it. That's a zombie foreclosure, okay?
Well, how does it become an un-zombie foreclosure? Like, what ultimately happens? Do they sell it before they actually foreclose? Do they bulk it in? Like, what does the bank do to get out of the situation?
There's a couple of things they can do, okay? Number one, they could sell that delinquent note, okay? Let's say the borrower owes $100,000, all right?
Yeah.
But the property may only be worth 30 or 40 or whatever, okay, just as an example. Well, the bank might end up selling that note for maybe $20,000, okay? They owe the bank $100,000, the borrower does, but the property's vacant, it's run down, the bank doesn't want it. They could sell that note, so whoever buys that note, then they'll have to go in and finish the foreclosure or contact the borrower and try to work out a loan, do a loan modification or whatever. But
if it's abandoned, I mean, if there's nobody in it, they verify that it's not occupied, the likelihood of finding, the borrower that was originally in it is slim to none.
Well, they could find the borrower eventually, but the likelihood of the borrower even wanting to do a loan modification is slim to none.
Okay.
So basically, you're just buying a non-performing note. Okay. Now, the second thing that
you could also say, okay, so if you are one of the people that buys non-performing notes, those are zombie foreclosures.
Some of those could be.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Some of them could be. Okay. So the other thing is, an investor could come along, see the rundown property, inquire about it, see who owns it, try to reach out to them, and then also try to reach out to the bank and negotiate a deal where they could get the deed from the seller and then get the bank to take what's called a short sale on the property. Okay?
That's not ever short.
Yeah, it's a long buy. A short sale is a long buy. Now, and maybe they could do the same thing where they would get the bank to accept maybe a $20,000 payoff.
Yeah.
But that investor put the deal together by getting the deed from the borrower, getting the bank to accept a short sale payoff, and pick up the property that way. But a zombie foreclosure is basically a house that nobody wants.
Bank doesn't want it, borrower doesn't want it.
Correct.
All right.
How was that? Was that a good answer?
That's a great answer.
And it wasn't too scary, was it?
No, it wasn't scary at all. I still wouldn't want it. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on my exit strategy with it as to whether I'd want to be around one of them or not. Whereas, like a zombie person, I already know I don't want to be around that.
Okay.
Here's another one. Somebody asked us, or asked at the during the Stump Larry, they said, how do you establish the ARV and why is it important? Two questions in one.
First of all, let's share what ARV is. You know what that is, right, Kandas?
After repaired value, yes.
After repaired value. When you're investing in real estate, okay, some people want to know what the as-is value is. As-is value is irrelevant, okay? It means nothing. Zip, zero, nada, okay? But the after repaired value is very important because you want to buy, okay? You want to buy it at a deep discount because it needs repairs and then sell it based on the ARV or after repaired value, okay? So the question was how to determine ARV.
Yeah, he asked how do you establish the ARV?
Good question. Okay, so the first thing you could do is you need to look at sold comps. Comp is short for comparable. Another property similar in size, construction, and location to the subject property that you're looking at, okay?
Usually, like, you would like for them to be on, like, the same street, in the same neighborhood, within a mile. I think appraisers really like to have them within a mile, but I think their cap is somewhere around 3 miles or something. I'm not an appraiser. I don't know for sure, but we have looked at several hundred appraisals in the last 15 years, and it seems like the best comps that we can get are, within a mile is really what they like to do, if not within the same neighborhood.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right. So the best place to find those comps, the best free place to find them is at Zillow.com, Zillow.com. Don't look at the Zestimate. The Zestimate means zilch. Right? You knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's why I'll let you go ahead.
I was waiting on you to fill in the blank, but you were writing your show notes.
I'm taking notes for the people.
You're writing your show notes.
My show notes.
So go to Zillow.com. You type in that ad, or basically the best thing to do is just Google the address, okay? You type in the address in Google, hit enter. The first thing that's going to come up is the is the...
We're going to have to finish this when we get back.
All right. Call Macy.
Call Macy, 877-LARRY-GO, and stick around the next segment. We'll finish answering this question on how do you establish ARV and why is it important. 877-LARRY-GO.
Welcome back. Keep it going. Chad just said, this one's off of 5150. Chad loves the Van Halen songs with the keyboards. I love the rockin' guitar.
Maybe you were a keyboard player
from way back.
From another life or something.
Could be.
Yeah.
From way back.
Maybe I was Johann Sebastian Bach.
Johann?
Or
Maybe
Johann
you
Sebastian
were.
Bach, maybe.
Maybe you were.
Hey, I met him.
Did you?
No, I've jammed with him.
No, Sebastian Bach. From Skid Row.
Yeah. I've jammed with him.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
Jammed? Did you really just say I've
I
jammed
did.
with him?
I have jammed with him.
That's music lingo, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's
All
what you
right.
do when you play music. Am I right?
18 in life. You got it.
There you go. That
All
was their
right.
one-hit wonder thing right there.
Oh, no,
But they're still... Oh, I know
Anyway.
they had some more.
Yeah, I'll remember you.
Boys.
See?
Boys.
Chad is... He knows way more than I
Fellas.
do about this stuff.
Rattlesnake Shake.
That's funny.
I'm going to mute you.
You don't have the controls. We're on the wrong side of the control panel for that.
I'm going to mute you.
Don't wait till she puts her hand up like this and then closes it against her thumb. Like, that means shut up. She does that to me.
I do not.
Well,
I
occasionally.
do this. I put my finger. I squish
Like you're
your
squishing
head.
me. Kids in the hall. Remember that?
I squish your head.
That's funny.
Anyway, all right. What are we were answering a question. We had to go to break.
ARV.
Well, how do you establish ARV? Yep, you talked
Google,
about how to establish.
You
Yeah.
Google the address, okay, to establish after repaired value when you're looking at buying a property. Google the address. The first link that's going to come up is the street map. You want to make sure there's a little picture in the corner with a for the street map, and that'll show you that Google Maps has actually driven the street and that it's on a paved road. If it's on a dirt road, that picture won't be there. I don't buy houses on dirt roads, okay? It's another good little tip.
How well I know.
Exactly. I mean,
100 feet off a dirt road, you can see the pavement from the driveway, and you won't buy
Let me
it.
tell you something. I'm a firm believer. Keep it simple. I want something that's easy to sell. Okay, if it's on a dirt road, it's going to be harder to sell. All right, so anyway, so the second link typically is going to be the Zillow link. Go to Zillow, click on that link, go to Zillow, and as you scroll down, you'll see a neighborhood link, and click on that link, and it'll pop a little map, and you zoom out a smidge, and then you'll find all of the other similar sold properties in the area, okay? And it'll tell you the other similar sales. So that way you can take them on. And Zillow even has a tool which says get comparables. Okay, you can click on that link as well, and you can pull up multiple comparables. And when you do that, it will average them. You can add comps, take them out. Ones that look similar to yours, ones that don't, you take them out. And then it will figure your ARV or after repaired value for you. Is that great or what?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So that's the way you figure the after repaired value. If you're just starting out and you don't want to invest in something like RealQuest or something that we've used. So there you have it.
Awesome. Somebody else asked, because we talk about at these 3 days, we talk about our offer process and how we go through making offers with HUD and then how we make offers with MLS properties and things like that. Somebody asked us, what is our success rate with all the offers we make?
Wow, you mean like how many offers get accepted versus how many we submit?
That's the way we answered it at the event. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Answered versus submitted.
The way I do this is, especially on making bids online like HUD houses, I want to get the property at a deep, deep discount because see, we're wholesaling. If we buy a house at $40,000 and we wholesale it for $50,000, and let's say our buyer's going to put $20,000 in it, they'll have $70,000 in it, and it's worth $100,000, they still have $30,000 in usable equity. They're not going to make $30,000 because of closing costs and real estate commissions and stuff like that. If they have to borrow the money, they have to pay interest. But they start with a gross of $30,000, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to make a lot of offers, all right? And we probably make, I don't know, 150 offers a day, but these are all automated and all digital offers. We have a VA, Mercy, in the Philippines. She sits in front of her computer, pulls up our spreadsheet, and all she's doing is sitting there putting in bids in every day, all day long, okay? I shouldn't say every day, all day long. She works about 3 hours a day, okay? And
every day, though.
Every day, 5 days a week. She works
Yeah.
3 hours a day, and she makes $4 an hour. She's in the Philippines, okay? And she started out with us like $1 an hour or something. And she's
been
with
there
us
a long time. Yeah.
She has been with us a long time. And she's just a sweetheart. I've never talked to her on the phone, but she's just so nice.
So what is our rate of success on offers made?
I'm sorry. Did I get sidetracked?
A little bit.
Where is my Adderall?
I didn't know you were prescribed it, but if you are, I need to keep an extra
I'm not
bottle.
prescribed it, but the only reason I know the name is I've had many people tell me I should be on it. So what's our success rate? If we put in 150 bids a day for a week, we might get 1 to 4 bids accepted a week. And that's because we're making low offers. I mean, guys, you guys out there listening, you could make higher offers than we do. All right, because we have a lot of mouths to feed, so to speak. We have acquisitions, we have sales, we have overhead, we have closing. Yeah, there you go. You heard it straight from Kandas. She ain't cheap.
Neither
right?
is Pam.
That's right. So Pam's like, Mama got to get paid.
Yes, she
right?
does. Yes, she does.
So we try to make $12,000 to $15,000 every deal, but a lot of people out there will wholesale a house to make $3,000 or $5,000. All right.
So you said 150 offers per day. For a week,
to get 1 to 4 deals a week. Now, that's just on HUD, okay? Now, if we're making offers on the MLS, we might make, just on the MLS, we might make somewhere between 1 to 3 offers a day, okay, per person. And that person might get 1 a week or 1 every 2 weeks or something like that. Now, if I'm making offers, I will tell you this. If it's me personally making offers, I'm probably going to get about 1 in 10 or 20. All right, just because I'm going to be working with the realtor, I'm going to talk to them, I'm going to negotiate with them, and I'm going to sell the realtor on selling me to the seller.
Right.
All right. So I can get a lot more accepted when I'm the one that's personally on the phone. That's why I love training people and seeing their ratios and their percentages go up. When maybe they were only doing 1 deal a month, they get up to doing 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 deals a month after we show them what to do and how to do it. So I know that was a long way to answer that, but I hope that helped.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think it answered the question in a very long way. You're right. This is a good one. This is one of my favorite ones. Oh, and we've only got 2 minutes, and it's one of my favorite ones.
All right,
what do you
up.
say? What do you say when an attorney says you can't do something?
When an attorney says I can't do something?
When an attorney tells you can't do something.
This is a good one. All you attorneys listen to this, you're going to hate me, okay? Anytime an attorney says you can't do something, the first thing I say is, would you mind showing me the general statute that says I can't do that? So if an attorney ever asks you or ever tells you that you cannot or are not allowed to do something, ask them to show you the general statute, okay? Now, I've had a lot of attorneys that have told me things like that over the years. Some of them have been able to show it to me, and some of them have come back and said, wow, I guess you were right. You can do that. So anytime one asks you, make sure you just, and I don't mean, it's not like you're really calling them out or anything, but really you want to know. And you can put it that way. Hey, I'm really just trying to learn. So share with me, the general statute so I can do a little bit of research. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but don't ask a policeman that when he pulled you over for doing something stupid, though, because it's not going to work.
Show me the general statute which shows I was speeding.
It doesn't work like that. These are real estate questions when you're talking to an attorney, not a law enforcement officer.
There you go. You sound like from experience.
No, I would not say that to an officer, but I just know some people in our database, and I've met some of our students, and they seem like the type that would kind of push that limit.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
That's funny. So, guys, we got a 3-day event coming up. You need to call Macy, 877-LARRY-GO. 877-LARRY-GO. Call Macy. She could get you signed up for the 3-day. She could tell you what all we're going to teach at the 3-day. It's taught personally by me. You'll get to meet Kandas. You'll meet our team. Macy might even stop by herself. She's my little soldier of fortune, right?
Yeah.
She's my retired Marine at 20 years old. And,
she got hurt.
And she's also going to show you how you can get a free investor's kit. So call Macy and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Brag Radio, investing in real estate to be rich and generous. I'm Larry.
I'm Kandas. It's that time. It's that generous time.
That's
I love
right.
this segment. We learn so much about people that we've worked with or people that we are working with and students that have kind of come through our system and that we're keeping in touch with and that they let us know how they're doing and everything like that. We've learned so much about so many organizations and so many ways to be generous that are just not even commonly thought of, but they touch somebody, and there's people getting involved with them every day. And today, I know that you guys have heard us talk about Paul on the show before, and he's got a lot going on right now. And is he on there? Do we have him?
Paul,
Yes.
what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Paul is the
Good. How
man,
you doing?
the legend, and the myth, all in one person.
Some of you guys, if you've researched us, you might even have seen him talking with Larry or doing some training videos. He's got some training videos in some of our education material as well.
He does, and he's created some of our analyzers, software,
Yeah.
spreadsheets, some of our Podio stuff as well. And Paul, thank you so much for being on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Now, Paul used to work in our office full time. If you haven't heard us talk about him before, he used to work in our office full time, and now he's gone out on his own. He's financially independent. He's out there making it happen, doing deals on his own. Now, not that he wasn't doing deals when he worked with us, but now he's just doing it full time, and I'm really excited, Paul, that you're able to do that. But I used to call Paul my relational technologist, and that's a term I made up. Remember that?
That's correct. Oh, man, I love that term.
I know, right? Paul is able to take technology and relate it to real estate and make it happen. You know, and it just blows me away, some of the stuff that he can do. So, Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're doing in real estate?
Sounds good. I'm actually right now I'm doing a lot of rehabbing here in Charlotte.
Which is two things that, hold on a second, we've pointed out very clearly on the show that we don't do rehabs and we don't buy in Charlotte. But you guys, just like we've told you too, everybody's got their own model, and this is what works for you, right?
That's exactly right. No, I love it. I grew up with a father who builds custom-made furniture, and he used to restore furniture as well. And I just love restoring things. So for me, it just wound up being houses. I just love getting in, getting dirty, and restoring houses.
How many
That's
do
the
you
way I
have
look
going
at it.
on right now?
I've got 4 of them going right now. Different places all over Charlotte, 1 new build and 3 remodels.
You're doing one new construction?
Yes, sir.
Did you buy a lot where you had to tear it down and to do a new build, or how'd that?
Basically, what we have right now is this one where we're going to take the roof off of it, remove all the interior walls, and we're just going to have the original exterior walls and the foundation, and then we're just going to rebuild everything from there.
Wow.
That's extensive.
That wasn't the word I was thinking. I was thinking
What are you
exasperating.
Ludicrous. What are you thinking, man? No, I'm just kidding.
That is great. So tell us about that deal. What are you going to have in it? What are you going to sell it for? How much is the rehab?
That one, actually, we're actually talking today with the contractor, getting the final numbers, but I purchased it for $125. It's over near the Johnson C. Smith University area, which is a major transformation area. It's gone from $30,000 mill houses to $500,000 craftsman-style homes.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what's happening over there. It's kind of like if you're in Charlotte, you know Plaza Midwood Noda. It's a very early stage of Plaza Midwood Noda type of area. This one purchased it for $125, just basically for the lot and the foundation of the property. I'm going to put right around $100,000 in rebuild on it. We're going to make a nice craftsman-style 1,800 square foot house. We're going to take the roof that's there right now off. We're going to double up the square footage by going up and making a second story. We're removing all the interior walls and relaying out the entire floor plan. So it's going to be a nice one. And then once I'm said and done, my numbers are done on a $325 sale price, which is pretty much guaranteed in that area, with probably about 15 days on market is what I've been seeing over in that area right now. But it's looking like with the way Charlotte's going right now, it's going to be at least a $350. But my numbers are done on a $325.
Good. That's conservative. That's
That
good.
is great. You want to be conservative. And I mean, you're really good at picking areas and markets that are turnarounds. And I remember when you worked with us, you've done some deals, or you did some deals where by the time you got it ready to sell, it was worth more than it was when you bought it a few months earlier, and you were actually able to set new trends and new prices in the market in the neighborhood, right?
That's exactly right. I've done that over in Windsor Park. I just picked up another one near Windsor Park as well, but this one actually may be my biggest home run yet. They say not to buy on busy streets, and I never buy on busy streets, but this was one that was just too good of a deal. I just picked up one on Eastway, but it just happened to be in the right area of Eastway, where it's actually backing up to like the best neighborhood. It's a $300,000 neighborhood, and the guy didn't want any more than $86,000 for the house. And I'm going to put $50,000 into it, and most recent comp that will be used for my house is a 2.2 that is 300 square foot smaller than mine, and it just sold for $295.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge. So, Paul, I know you and your wife homeschool your kids, and you got a great wife and family, kids and stuff, and I'm just really excited about how you get them involved. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to be generous.
Actually, that's been really cool. I've tried to set my life up to where I can live it the way that I want to. And what's really cool is, like you just mentioned with the homeschooling, the way I like to give is two different ways. One with time, and then one with financially. This past week, one of my best friends, their wife, her father passed away out of nowhere. And they had in the middle of closing on a house and all this kind of stuff, and trying to move, dealing with this loss. But because I structured my life the way that I have, where I have free time, I was able to go help them paint the house. I was able to also get my wife freed up because of the homeschool and stuff like that with the kids. The kids were able to go there and play with their kids while they're able to pack. So we try to take our time and actually give to other friends, family, people that we don't know even, with time of just practical stuff. So that's one of the things that we're doing is just looking for people that need help and trying to give there. This week I was out helping another nonprofit called Veterans Path Up, trying to get them technologically up to date. So that's one thing I do is I try to actually help out with my time and my knowledge. But number two thing is I try to help out with my money. God's blessed me. He's been really good to me in that, and I try to give back. One of the things I'm starting to do now is when I sell one of my properties, I'm going to start putting in the property information packets on Hydrating Humanity. Hydrating Humanity, they are a nonprofit based out of Winston-Salem area, and they go over to Africa and they dig wells for people who don't have water, for villages that don't have water. There's more water in Africa than there is pretty much anywhere else in the world, but they can't access it because they don't know how to dig the wells. So what I'm just going to start doing is I'm going to actually have the information packets in my houses. I'm actually going to be taking part of my proceeds from the property, and it's going to go straight to Hydrating Humanity.
That's awesome, Paul. What you don't know, though, like you just mentioned Veterans Path Up, last week's show, we had Ken Lacey on.
Oh, that's
We've worked with him and spotlighted his company for almost a year now, and they do tremendous work. So this is great that you're working with him and trying to get that aspect of his company, and that you've got the time to do that, to put forth an effort, into a nonprofit like that as well as give back to, what was the name of that? Hydrating Humanity, you said?
Hydrating Humanity, yes, ma'am.
How'd you find out about them?
I worked with him for quite a while, actually. I used to work for a church called Morning Star many years ago, and it started there out of the church. The guy who started it, he has always just had on his heart the children of Africa, and he started doing some research and started finding out about how practical water is needed. It's just they don't have it over there. So he goes in.
Wow.
Started learning about the whole systems and started bringing over wells and learning how to drill wells. And so he started doing that. And he doesn't just leave it at that. They also try to bring in education to where it's, they don't just get the water, but they also get education where it can actually better the village and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. We really appreciate you being on today.
For more information about what Larry and Kandas discussed on today's Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous, go to braggradio.com. You can also call 877-LARRY-GO for a free investor's kit or to schedule a tour of the office or get more information on upcoming events. That's 877-527-7946. Tune in again next Saturday as best-selling real estate investing author Larry Goins and co-host Kandas teach you the latest strategies and techniques the pros use to make money in real estate. It's Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous on News 1110 99.3 WBT.